what do you think are the top technical skills that are must-haves to be a data analyst?
That's an interesting question. I think, and when I say must-haves, let me also be clear that like there are jobs that don't require these skills, and there are some jobs that you can go into that they'll teach you the skills from day one. But I think in order to, here's a better way to put it: the must-have skills to be a senior data analyst. Basically, if you
Mm,
want to advance in the industry, what do you have to have?
mhm,
Um, I would say some BI tool, Tableau, Power BI. They're basically all the same. Um, SQL, you have to know SQL. And then Python is a very nice to have, where you do no data analyst job I've seen requires that you know Python,
right,
but they will all you can convince people to pay you more,
right,
and you can drive more value. If you can drive more value, that's how you convince people to pay you more, by knowing a programming language like Python. And then Excel. I would say like pivot tables, VLOOKUPs, HLOOKUPs. Again, this is all stuff that can be learned in a weekend. So out of all of those skills, SQL is the only one that you can't learn in one weekend. So that's why I think anyone can be a data analyst, because Tableau and Excel are things that you could give someone a weekend and just tell them like, don't go out with your friends, don't go out, don't do anything else, just study this for a weekend,
yeah.
and yeah,
So one weekend
the,
of Tableau, another weekend of SQL, another weekend of Excel, and then you're in pretty good shape for your data analyst interviews. And then once you get that data analyst job, you might want to start working on your Python uh,
right.
and developing that out either on the job or maybe on your weekends once you start.
You might need 2 weeks of SQL, but yeah,
Nice. 2 weekends.
I'd say 2 weeks.
Two
Yeah,
weeks. Okay. Okay.
yeah. What I've learned is that there's this really big mental barrier, and I used to have it too. Right, there's a mental barrier for people when they see text on a screen doing things, instead of just saying things. Right, 90% of the time, text on a screen is just to say something to you. Warning message here, Microsoft Office document over here. But when people start putting in commands into a computer to start
Right.
telling the computer, when you start talking back to the computer that way,
Hmm.
there's some mental barrier. It's a weird mental barrier that people have, and I 100% had, that I think stops people from learning how to code. Because the basics of coding are very, very simple. They're not hard
Hmm.
at all.
Hmm.
You could teach a fifth grader how to code like in Python over a weekend, like at the basic level.
Right.
Um, Now, environment setup and stuff like that, yeah, no, that takes like a PhD level person to figure out. Environment setup's absolutely miserable. But um, the reason I say SQL takes 2 weeks is because that mental barrier takes a while to get over. Some people get over it instantly.
Right.
Some people who are, if you're exposed to technology your entire life, you may be able to get over it more easily. But I keep kicking myself for not learning how to code in Python earlier. There's so much stuff I could have done when I was a teenager had I known how to code in Python.
Mm.
Um, but eventually you get over that barrier and then you're able to go from there. That's why I would say about 2 weeks for SQL.